Hello and hello. Okay, so today we're going to be covering improper fractions and mixed numbers. So we're going to talk about how to go from one to the other and from the other to the one, back and forth. Okay, so a regular fraction that we know has a numerator and denominator, right? The numerator, there you go, is the top number. The denominator is the bottom number. Easy. But on an improper fraction, the numerator actually is bigger than the denominator. So that's improper because our numbers are too big on the top. This is an improper fraction. So I'm going to show you today how to go from an improper fraction to a mixed number. Mixed number, which is just mixing fractions and whole numbers, right? So we're going to take that 9 halves and we're going to convert it to a mixed number, which would be 4 wholes and 1 half. Mr. Benavides, how did you do that? Well, it was pretty easy. I did it in my head, but I'm going to show you some strategies so you don't have to do it in your head. Okay, so we'll stick with that same fraction, 9 halves. Get up there. Okay, 9 over 2. So probably the easiest way to do this and the way that would make the most sense to most of us is to use this line here as a dividing line, which what it really is, 9 divided by 2. So we'll take 9 and we'll divide it by 2. 2 goes into 9 4 times. 4 times 2 is 8. Subtract, we're left with 1. Now, we've essentially got everything we need here for our mixed number. Remember the 4 and 1 half? Where's it at? See it? 4 and 1 half? Well, the numbers are here. So we just got to realize where those numbers go. Oh, come on. Okay. So if we look at the 4 on top, that's our whole number. We were able to fit 4 groups of 2 in there. So that's our whole number, 4. Our denominator stays the same. So if we have 2 here and 2 here, so our denominator on this fraction is going to be 2. And our numerator is what's left over, 1. So there you go, 4 and 1 half. This would be a mixed number. Now we can also take a mixed number like 4 and 1 half and convert it to an improper fraction. We can go the other way, right? We started with, I gotta stop doing that. We started with an improper fraction, 9 halves, and we moved it, changed it, converted it to a mixed number. Now we're gonna start with a mixed number and we're gonna convert that, get up there, into an improper fraction. So let's say we have 3 and 2/3 as our mixed number, right? Because we're mixing whole numbers with fractions. So I want to convert that into an improper fraction. Improper fraction, that's an R. Now, this also has an operation that involves a couple of steps, but it's pretty easy once you get the gist of it, once you understand the way to do it. So let's take our number over here, write it again. Let's do green. 3 and 2/3. Okay, so we start with the denominator. We're going to multiply times the whole number. This is the x. And then we're going to take that whole number and add to the numerator. Looks confusing, but let me show you what that equates to. 3 times 3 plus 2. 3 times 3 plus 2. So 3 times 3 is 9 plus 2 is 11. And our denominator, stays the same, which is 3. There we go, 11/3. So 3 and 2/3 equals the improper fraction of 11/3. And we can check that by going back and showing 11/3, right? You can divide. 3 goes into 11. What's a 0? 3 times 3 is 9. Subtract. 11 minus 9 is 2. So remember, our whole number, 3. Our denominator, 3. And our numerator, 2. 3 and 2/3, which is what we started with right here, 3 and 2/3. Pretty easy. I wanted to show you one more way that we can do this. Let me get all this out of the way. And this way is kind of cool. It only works with smaller numbers though, so I would advise doing the division way with a big number, and we'll do one here in a second, but let's do an easy one so you can kind of see let's say we have an improper fraction of 6 over, let's do 1. Okay, so I need to have 1, no, that's not going to work. Let's say 6 over 4. Let's do that. So I need to have groups of 4 there, right? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I have groups of 4, and I have to number to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I've taken groups of 4 because my denominator is 4. I have a group of 4 here, a group of 4 here. And I just started counting until I get to all my numerators. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I'm at 6. So this one here would all be shaded in. That's a whole number, right? 4/4 is a whole. And here I have 2 shaded in. So that means I have 2 out of the 4 shaded in. So if I add these two together, 1 plus 2/4, I should end up with 1 and 2/4, which is very, very close to being my mixed number, except I have to remember that if I can simplify this fraction, I have to do that, right? Divide by 2, divide by 3 if I can. Here I can divide by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2, and my whole number stays the same, 1 and 1/2. So 4/6 is equivalent to 1 and 1/2. That's my mixed number, right? If I was to do it the old-fashioned way, like I showed you, divide 6 by 4, that goes once. 1 times 4 is 4. Subtract 2. Here I have my numbers again. Remember, whole number, denominator, numerator. Same thing, 1 and 2/4. And of course, just like I did last time, I would reduce that. Divide by 2, divide by 2. And I would get 1 and 1/2. So pretty easy. Let me do a quick one that shows you a bigger number so you can kind of see, because I know these are fairly easy numbers. Let me get up there. Let's do something like, I don't know, 32 over, let's do 5. So I want to convert this into a mixed number, right? A whole number with a fraction, because this is right now is an improper fraction. So I have to divide 32 divided by 5. Okay. 5 goes into 3 0 times. 5 goes into 32. Well, that's easy. You just count by 5s, right? And you will get 6. 6 times 5 is 30. Subtract with a remainder of 2. Once I get to my remainder, if there is one, then I have my answer. I have my mixed number. I just have to put all the numbers where they belong. The whole number, 6. The denominator, 5. And the numerator, 2. I can't divide 5 by 2 or 3, so I know that it's reduced down to its simplest form. So here is my mixed number. And if I was going to convert it back, I would do, remember, 5 times 6. And I would add the 2 here. That should get me back to my original fraction. 5 times 6 is 30, plus 2 equals 32 over 5. Doesn't really want to make that 2. Which is what I started with, right? 32 over 5. Yeah, right there. Pretty easy. Now, I'm not going to give you a challenge problem or one to do at home. We'll just work on this more tomorrow. But let me show you one more thing real quick. Let's say I have a fraction like this. Same concept applies, right? 6 divided by 3, that goes 2 times. 2 times 3 is 6. If I have no remainder, then all I have is this whole number. Now, technically, if I was to follow all the rules, technically I should have 2 as a whole number, 0 as a remainder, and 3 as the denominator. But since I don't use 0 in a fraction, I just end up with the whole number 2, right? Same thing if I have something like 8 over 4. That would be 2, because there's nothing left over. All right, good luck. I hope this helped. Sorry it's such a long video. I'll upload it right now and see you tomorrow in class. Bye-bye.